Hello, my name is Sydney Sidders and Solhan_2 and welcome back to the Kent Coast Walk. Today you join me in the seaside town of Herne Bay. Herne Bay is the town that I grew up in, so it's a particularly special day for me. We will be walking from where we are right now, where we finished off on our Whitstable to Herne Bay walk at the Herne Bay suburb of Hampton. We'll be heading along to Hampton Pier and then onwards towards Herne Bay Pier. We'll then be walking along the Herne Bay Downs and towards Reculver, where we finish off today. I have got my Canterbury and Isle of Thanet's Herne Bay, Deal and Whitstable map. I don't think I'll need it much, but here it is. Back towards Whitstable that way is where we came last time. If I do a little turnaround, you can see where we're heading this time. This section of seaside here between Stud Hill and Hampton used to be Hampton by Sea, or Hampton on Sea, but in the early 20th century the sea was eroding in fast and all the houses fell into the water, and thus it no longer exists, with the exception of the pub there. That's the only building that survived. And it was due to them building Hampton Pier. The shape of the pier caused the currents to swoosh around and the coastline quickly disappeared. There you can see some of the remains of the houses. And if you go out there, you'll be able to find bricks and bits and bobs from what's left over. The Hampton Inn. Here we are at the end of Hampton Pier. You can see the remains from how long the pier used to go all the way out there. This way you can see the coastline is pretty flat, like straight line, and it heads towards Herne Bay. There's an apartment building in Herne Bay, and you can actually see the end of our walk today, Reculver, on the very tip there. As I continue around, you can see this mysterious thing in the sea, and I know I keep teasing it, but I shall give us some talk about that later when we get to Herne Bay Pier. The end of Hampton Pier, and suddenly the coastline is so far back compared to this side, and it really shows how much erosion happened. Let's head onwards to the town centre of Herne Bay. We've made it to the edge of the town centre of Herne Bay. You can see the pier just up ahead. When you start the main seasidey bit of Herne Bay, you get a mini golf course, and all the arcades start popping up. iFun and some others further down. Mega arcades! So many arcades! Wow! Shall we make our way along Herne Bay Pier? I think we shall. My mum has found this ancient, entertaining telly go round. Oh. Here we got Count Duckula. My ears are... oh. Was that it? That definitely didn't pierce my ears. Merry-go-round. And they've got some little snackings and milkshake and ice cream place. We're here at the end of Herne Bay Pier, or the end of the pier at the moment. Back in the mid-20th century, it used to go all the way out to those ruins in the sea. That was the end of Herne Bay Pier. But back in the 70s or 80s, there was a massive storm and Herne Bay Pier got broken in two. The end of the pier has been stuck out there ever since. When it existed, Herne Bay Pier was actually the second longest in the whole country, only behind Southend-on-Sea. So it's pretty significant, I think, and it's a shame that they never rebuilt it. People say it's haunted. Next up, we're heading along the beach here towards the Clock Tower, a very significant building in Herne Bay. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then we'll be going along the Neptune's Arm. The Neptune's Arm was built not too long ago to protect the town of Herne Bay from flooding from the sea. Beautiful painting of the sea forts out at sea. And at the weekends, these, or in the height of summer season, these are open as cute little shops that sell like bits of artwork and pebbles. Here's a better view at the area that the Neptune's Arm protects, and it's created a mini marina really. Amy Johnson, airplane pilot, who went missing in the Greater Thames Estuary. Here's some information about her if you want to pause the video. Boy with a Boat by Paula Hugney. Here's a statue of Amy Johnson. Herne Bay Bandstand is our next exciting destination. Oh, I love the colourful umbrellas. Some nice palm trees, and there's the stage. There are performances here during the summer. So, 2 restaurants as well, one in there and one over here. Significant historical landmark, Herne Bay Clock Tower. A really cool memorial of what Reculver towers used to look like. A historic look at the bandstand. A look at Herne Bay Pier. The old forts and the wind farm out at sea. And lastly, Herne Bay Clock Tower. Herne Bay Clock Tower! Woo! It is believed to be one of the world's first purpose-built freestanding clock towers, which is absolutely crazy. That's quite a significant title to have. Back in the 1830s, a woman called Anne Thwaites, there we go, decided to donate some money to the town so that this clock tower could be built. And I think that's really awesome. And it definitely is Herne Bay's biggest landmark, I think. The most iconic image of the town. You have the pier as well, but this clock tower, it's just so unique. Onto the Neptune's Arm. My mum just spotted these very camouflaged birds. I couldn't see them for ages. They're all turning the stones over to get some grubs. We were over there not that long ago, Herne Bay Pier. full 360. Time to leave the main section of Herne Bay's seafront. If you turn down this street, William Street, you'll get to the main shopping street of Herne Bay called Mortimer Street. Just if you're curious. Now let's head along towards the King's Hall and the Herne Bay Downs. The origins of Herne Bay itself is as a little smuggling hamlet by the sea. Here's a little information board about the smuggling history. I'll let you pause that if you want to read it. And here is one of the oldest buildings, if not the oldest building, in all of Herne Bay, the Ship Inn, which is now a restaurant. Possibly dating back to the late 1600s. We're leaving the main built-up area of Herne Bay behind us now, as we enter the Herne Bay Downs, which is a grassy slope area that takes us all the way pretty much to Reculver, even if it changes its names a few times. And here is the King's Hall, a well-known entertainment centre. Onwards along the shoreline towards Bishopstone Glen, which will be just after the Herne Bay Downs. We've made it to an area called Bishopstone Glen. A little bridge here that goes over the stream that comes out of Bishopstone Glen. This is one of my favourite hidden locations in Herne Bay. It's very lovely and picturesque. You got some stairs there that head up to the path that goes along the top of the cliffs to Reculver. But I think we shall be following the beach. Going along the beach, it's another tide situation. At high tide, it's very difficult to get past down here, but at low tide you can walk along the sands and the pebbles. If that's not your cup of tea, then going to the top of the cliffs, there is a very lovely footpath that goes through some hilltop grassy meadows, and those flow all the way down to Reculver. You can see all the boulders protecting these cliffs from erosion. As this section, the cliffs get particularly high, and they're very prone to being eroded away. Mum's just pointed out these holes in the sandstone cliffs, and there's some more up here. I don't know if you can see because the sun's in the way. There's some. And we were wondering what sort of animals would create those. So if anybody knows the answer, please let us know in the comment section. The path on the grass has ended and we're now down on the beach. The atmosphere here is just so relaxing and I really like it. It gives me vibes of Warden very slightly. Look at all these stones. They've just been eroded away by the sea. You can see how smooth they are. but it's more of a, you can actually reasonably walk here, instead where Warden was like, you sink in the mud and you die. Let's get on the sand, see if it's yeah, the sand is pretty solid. The first glimpse of Reculver Towers peeking behind the cliffs. That's brilliant! We made it the entire way from Bishopstone Glen to Reculver on the sand. We timed it perfect with the tide, and I hadn't even planned that. This is one of my only times I've ever done it on the beach. I walked up on top of the cliffs a lot of times, but I definitely say that the beach is faster than on top of the cliffs. So if you're looking for it to go faster, on the sandy beach. We're done with the beach. Now heading up, look at these rusty thingy-mabobs, up onto the sea wall and into Reculver. Here's our best view of the day for the two different paths you can take from Herne Bay to Reculver. Obviously the way that we did down on the beach, but also the cliff-top fields, there and there. Both ways are very beautiful. Let's do a 360. And here we are, Reculver. Hello. Along the coastline between Herne Bay and Reculver, there's a series of 6 benches that have been designed by artists. Here we have one of them, the Reculver Towers bench. We saw another one earlier. You might have seen the airplane, Amelia Johnson airplane. That was one of the benches. The other ones, I think they're all along the hilltop, the cliff top, so we didn't see those, but if you come here, then you might be able to discover them. Lots of defences defending the hamlet of Reculver, and that's because, again, there used to be a lot of erosion here, and they were just able to save Reculver Towers. It was precariously sticking out. There's the little tourist information for Reculver and cafe, and there's also a pub further along called the Ethelbert. Just next to tourist information you also have some toilets, so if you needed the toilet at this point, there you go. The King Ethelbert's Inn and Reculver Towers. I'm going to be a little bit sneaky here, sorry everybody, but we're going to explore Reculver Towers in the next video from Reculver to Herne Bay. Or Birchington, I haven't decided yet. Anyway, today's walk has been fun. Obviously this is my local growing up area. It feels so strange to be here after walking all the way from the border of London. It's crazy. If you want to keep a little bit more up to date with me, you can always check me out on Twitter, and I also post on Instagram rarely. And thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to believe in the rainbows. Bye!